What toxic family tradition did you break that cost you everything? Every Christmas, my family would pick one person to completely humiliate in front of everyone. They called it keeping people humble. It started with my great-grandmother, who believed nobody should get too comfortable or confident. The target was always whoever had the best year. If that got promoted, lost weight, found love, anything good, then Christmas dinner became their roasting session. Everyone would take turns pointing out their flaws and failures from the past year while they sat there and took it. When I was 12, my cousin Sarah got accepted to Harvard. Christmas dinner turned into 2 hours of family members listing every way she wasn't good enough.
Dad, you're still ugly. Damn, smart doesn't fix that personality.
Sarah cried into her mashed potatoes while my aunt laughed. She never spoke to our family again. The next year, it was my Uncle Mark who lost 80 pounds after surgery. They spent the whole night calling him weak and predicting he'd gain it all back. Real men don't take shortcuts, my dad sneered. Mark did gain it back, plus 50 more pounds. By 16, I realized this tradition was destroying people, but speaking up meant becoming next year's target. So I stayed quiet when they demolished my Aunt Lisa for starting her bakery business. Yes, I said nothing when they tore apart my brother for making varsity football. I watched silently as they destroyed my mom for getting her nursing degree at 45. Each Christmas, I watched someone I loved get systematically broken down until they believed every cruel word. The worst part was seeing how they changed afterward, was smaller, quieter, afraid to dream. Then I graduated valedictorian and got a full ride to Stanford. The moment I opened that acceptance letter, I knew what was coming. My stomach dropped thinking about Christmas dinner. December arrived, and sure enough, dinner became the Let's Tear Down the Smart Kids show. They called me arrogant, said I'd flunk out within a semester, claimed I thought I was better than everyone. My grandmother led the charge. College boy thinks he's special. Wait till the real world crushes that ego like a bug. My Uncle Tom jumped in. Stanford kids are all spoiled brats. You'll be back here begging for a job at the factory. My Aunt Linda added, book smart doesn't mean life smart. You can't even change a tire. I sat there for 20 minutes listening to people I loved list every reason I'd fail. They dissected my appearance, my personality, my work ethic. They brought up every mistake I'd made since childhood. My little sister Emma looked terrified. Then something snapped. I stood up and said, you know what? I'm done. This tradition is sick and I won't be part of it anymore. My dad slammed his fork down so hard his plate cracked. Sit down and take it like everyone else. It builds character. No, I said. It builds shame. Look around this table. Half our family doesn't even come anymore because of this garbage. Sarah's a millionaire now and won't even return mom's calls. Mark attempted suicide last year. Lisa closed her bakery after you convinced her she was worthless. I walked to the kitchen and came back with a notepad. My turn, I announced. Aya, let's talk about how this family drives away anyone who tries to grow. The room went dead silent. My grandmother's face turned purple with rage. How dare you speak to your elders that way? The same way you've spoken to everyone else for decades, I replied. This isn't tradition, it's abuse, and I'm breaking the cycle right here, right now. Then I walked out, just left my coat, my presents, everything. They disowned me that night. My parents called screaming that I was ungrateful. They blocked my number, removed me from family photos, told extended family I'd had a mental breakdown. 4 years later, I graduated Stanford with honors and landed a job at Google. My little sister Emma secretly reached out. Apparently, Christmas dinner now just involves awkward silence since nobody wants to risk being next year's target. Last month, my grandmother had a stroke. The family called begging me to visit. I drove 6 hours to the hospital. When I walked into her room, she grabbed my hand and whispered, "You were right about everything. I'm so sorry for what we did." She died 2 days later. At the funeral, my cousin Sarah showed up. She hugged me and said thank you for being brave enough to say what we all needed to hear. That toxic tradition died with my grandmother.